How's it going, you guys? Hudson here, back with another video, and in today's video I'm going to show you guys some progressions to help you get to your first pistol / single leg squat. So there are two main components, main ones, there's a lot to it, but there's two main components that are going to really determine how you're able to get to your first pistol squat. The first one is the mobility. Are you able to get in a nice deep squat position and be comfortable there? And then B, have the strength to get out of that squat position. So those are the two main things. There's a lot of coordination and stability also incorporated, but with the progression, it's going to help you get to that as well. You're going to be working on those things during the progressions. So first one, tackling the mobility part, we want to make sure we're able to get our knees past our toes. People say don't squat with your knees past your toes. That's perfectly fine to squat with your knees past your toes as long as you're not doing anything funky and having your knees in an awkward position, putting weird torque on it. As long as your knees are staying over your toes, it's perfectly fine to drive your knees as far forward as you want. So the simple way to test it is we're just going to get into a bottom squat position, and then if you're able to get your knees past your toes, even if it's just a little bit, you're in good hands. If it's significantly further back and when you do that, it kind of raises up your hips a little bit because you're not able to get your hips quite as low, then we need to work on that to allow us to get to that deep squat position, because if you can't even do it with two legs, doing it with one leg is significantly harder. So first thing, we're going to do one of two things. First one, we're going to snag a foam roller and we're going to massage our calves. So I prefer a ribbed one or one with texture, so that way it's going to get a little deeper into the muscle. We're going to just do about 2 minutes each leg, foam rolling them, going up and down, going side to side, hit outside and inside of the calf. Once you've done 2 minutes one leg, switch legs. I don't want you to do two legs at the same time because it's definitely not as much pressure. We want to really get at any knots or stiffness in the muscle that's limiting our flexibility. So once we've done 2 minutes each side of that, then you're going to come over to an elevated surface. It can be a bench, it could be a box, whatever. You're going to then snag an external weight, place your foot on the box, place the weight above your knee, and then drive your knee as far forward as you can. You make sure you keep your heel flat. If you're bringing your heel up, you're not really attacking your Achilles anymore. You want to keep that flat because that's ideally a position we want to get into anyway, so make sure this is what's getting worked on. Drive that knee far forward, about 2 minutes each side there, and then go ahead and retest, and that bottom squat position should feel significantly better and you'll be able to feel more upright because you're driving your knees a little more forward. Now, the first thing we want to do is to find out if we have the strength to get out of that deep single leg squat position. Doesn't matter how flexible you are, if once you get to that bottom position with one leg, it becomes that much trickier. So what we're going to do is you want to find that box or bench or elevated surface again, but have it set up to where it is putting your knee higher than your hip, because this is that bottom squat position. What counts as a full pistol squat is getting your hip below your knee crease. So once we found that, I'm going to then put as much of my weight far forward as possible so my knee is far over my toe, so I'm mimicking that pistol position. I'm then going to get onto my heel, my opposite leg. I can't stand up all the way because I'm going to hit my head on my garage, but from here I'm then going to press up, lock out my leg, come back down. I'm able to do that on one side, test out the other side. Boom, my weight's on my heel, lean forward as far as I can, press up, come back down. If we are not able to do that, then we're not quite yet ready to work onto a more range of motion exercise, because we're not even able to get out of a normal single leg deep squat position. So if that's the case, keep your foot on the floor. You're going to just do a tiny little press up with this leg until all the weight's on this leg. Extend, come back down as low as you can, and then bring your foot back to the floor. Do about 3 to 4 sets, 10 to 12 each side, and then once that feels good and you are able to get your heel up, lean forward, and press up with just this leg assisting you, then we're ready to move on to the next one. So for the next one, pretty simple. We're going to squat to a box. Start with a pretty high box because we're not able to go to that full squat position yet, otherwise you wouldn't need this video because you're doing a full-on pistol squat. So start with an easy height for now, and what we're going to do is, I want to set up where you guys can see I'm breaking stuff. All right, that should be a good angle. So from here, I'm going to lift one leg up, and I'm going to keep this leg locked out. I don't want to keep it bent. I want to put as much of my weight out in front of me as I can. Once I go down into the squat position, it's not me just sitting back with my chest up and then coming back up here. I want to lean my weight forward as much as I can, push my butt back, reach, and then drive my chest forward and come back up. Unless you are someone that has crazy ankle mobility and can stay totally upright in a pistol squat, it's pretty much not going to happen for you. We need to lean forward to kind of counterbalance us in the bottom of that squat position. So lean forward, weights out in front of your foot, come back up, stand up. Once that becomes pretty easy, you can snag a stack of weights so you can lower the surface a little bit, maybe like 3 45s, 2 45s, still have that target to where you're able to still get low, come back up, and complete a modified range of motion. We're not going all the way below parallel just yet. We're still getting the coordination stability part down. 3 to 4 sets, 10 to 12 reps each side. Once that's gotten pretty easy, you've lowered the surface down, and you think you're getting close to that below parallel squat, now what we're going to do is we're going to snag an external weight to kind of counterbalance us. I want a 15, something light. I think that's going to really blow out your arms, because what we're going to do now is we're going to place this weight out in front of us to counterbalance, lift our leg up, go down into our squat, and come back up, and we're going to work on that full range of motion now. We're getting below parallel, but the weight is helping us keep that balance if the ankles were a big issue for us, because 9 times out of 10, that's what it is. It's the ankle mobility. A lot of us can squat a good amount of weight, we can jump, we can run, we have a good amount of leg strength, but it's that last little bit of mobility at the bottom that's the trickiest part. So this is helping us adjust our mobility restrictions and get into that below parallel squat without any issues. Once you've done that for 3 to 4 sets, 10 to 12 reps every other day, all of a sudden you're going to need a less weight for assistance. Maybe you go down to a 10-pound plate, maybe a 5-pound plate, and then all of a sudden you're busting out normal pistol squats. So I recommend those progressions. I would throw them into your programming 2 to 3 times a week, or as much as you see fitting, as long as you're not totally blowing up your legs or getting really exhausted. If you guys have any questions on any of these movements, please make sure you leave them down below. I'll be sure to get back to you guys soon. If you enjoyed this video, hit the like button. Subscribe for plenty more. If you don't already, follow us on Constantly Varied Fitness on Instagram. We'll see you guys in the next video.